Oh, wait, dude. Good morning, ninjas. Good morning, ninjas. We're here at the 5-acre property. Just got her done. Had to double cut everything because we got here so early and still had that morning dew. Okay, so, but it's done. And got some help today because today is the Hamburger Hill McDouble Hill plus the 5-acre day. And not that James couldn't deal with it and handle it, but having extra help helps. So we just wrapped it up, and there's James. Let's see if you guys recognize this dude over here. Y'all recognize that dude over there?
Hey, Nick.
Hey James, good morning. We got the 5 acres done.
Yes, we do.
We got the 5 acres done. I was just telling them we had to double cut everything. Took a little longer than usual because we were here a little earlier in the morning dew.
Yes, and I had to go back and get a few spots that no one on the planet would have noticed, but the sensei would.
You having a good this morning, James?
Yeah, it's always good.
Happy to be back to work?
Yes, I got to go straight to the rear this morning. That's exciting.
Okay. Hey, got some help. What do you think of that?
Well,
at least for the 5 acres, the McDouble Hamburger Hill. Not that me and you couldn't. I was saying to them earlier, not that me and you couldn't handle it.
Oh no.
But it helps to have help.
Yes.
Sure. So look. He came in shorts to do a little mowing, weed eating. Look.
That's your helper for the day?
That's a helper.
You know, he got nice legs. Look at them legs.
These Red Wing boots, they really show off the calf.
You hear that? He's all about that shock resistance, that whole little softness situation down there.
Yeah. You know, if you're going to hit the ground hard, you need that padding beneath you. That's what I got. I got padding.
So what'd you think of the 5 acres, Jacob?
I liked it.
Yeah? A lot of mowing.
Yeah.
But as I was telling them again earlier, we don't normally have to double cut it because we don't get here that early. The sun is already out and dries up. Sometimes certain areas if I have to, but I feel like we have to rerun everything, double cut the whole thing.
Which a lot of the crabgrass, I mean, you're going to run over crabgrass sometimes 2 or 3 times.
True.
How's that hat working out?
I love the hat, man. I got to get you one.
The Queen of England wears them hats
Woo,
like this.
check that out. You like it?
Yes.
Do you like it? Do you approve it? Because the first thing you said to me this morning was, I don't know about that hat, Sensei.
Well, it looks like like an old lady would wear gardening, but I mean, if it's comfortable, it's comfortable.
See, he said he's got to quit being called Hispanic, so he's got to get that so he can lighten his skin tone a little bit. He's too dark.
That's not going to help.
I like it, guys. If you like this hat, you can get yourself one at trailerracks.com. Green Touch hooked us up, and I do have one for you if you're gonna wear it. Now, if you're not, I don't want to get all that sweat all over a hat and ruin a perfectly good hat.
Yes, well, I have to stick with my SG Ninja.
Okay, all right. So good.
Sponsored.
You got to do them Friday morning name drops.
By the way, ninjas, if you didn't know, last night apparently Husqvarna released a commercial on their Facebook page and their Instagram page, and I don't know about the following numbers on Facebook, but Instagram is like almost 60,000. And guess who made the front cover?
Had I known, I'd have worn my sports bra.
You ready? You ready for the monster?
Well,
you're always ready for the monster, you dirty little man.
You know, this is big, and I love them big.
Let's go. Just wrapped up the Hamburger Hill and McDouble, and I want to ask you, Jacob, first time here, what did you think?
Not fun.
It's not fun?
No.
So Jacob,
hey, like we say, it pays the bills, it makes money, so.
Yeah, pays the bill, makes money. That's for sure. Now Jacob mowed the front in both of these houses, and then he grabbed the weed eater and joined us. At that point, I was using the Ferris, guys. A lot of you have been asking me where the Ferris is. I have it. I actually have it, and I use it every other week for about 3-4 yards. And so it comes handy, but it's not a regular daily mower. So anyway, and at that point I was down there with the Ferris, and Jacob joined us, and then we all just tackled the backs.
All right here behind the trailer.
Oh. Alright. I got Tiny started so that way the AC is going. Oh heck. There's Sassy James. Sassy James has been falling more today than any other day. He's been slipping left and right, but it wasn't on Hamburger Hill, it was on the McDouble over there. Woo! Burning that calories, boy! Yeah!
Well,
What you think, James? Huh?
it's like everything else, sir.
Yeah? Look at that, it's done. It's done. So, you glad we got some help?
Yes. You know, I always feel good going down, but it's hard coming up.
All right. I'm glad this is out of the way. And I am glad I was able to get us some help. Now, me and you would be still weed eating. We would knock it out, no problem. But like I said, it would take us longer and we'd be whooped. Not that we're not whooped already.
Well, you know, I'm a company man. I just enjoy being out here in the sunshine.
Look at that. That's right. All right, let me quickly just show you ninjas, and then we're out of here. And of course I didn't record here because this is not one of them type of yards that you really want to take your time and move the camera and adjust it and do all that. But we got all that done, and then we got all this done. Now, the good thing is last time we pretty much weed eated this whole backyard to the neighbors. But I told myself, see, I mean, it's a drop. But I told myself, hold on a second. I can walk behind certain parts. I don't need to, you know, get on some of these steep drops. But like, it's got some sections where it's, you know, somewhat flat. Not necessarily flat, but at least manageable. Like for example, there's a section right down there, and then there's a section right around here, and then there's a section right around there, and then there's this section. And of course I was able to do all this. So it definitely saved us some time. So it took us total of 4 hours, ninjas, to do the 5 acres, Hamburger Hill, and the McDouble, the neighbor. So 4 hours, 3 yards. 4 hours, 3 yards, and it's done. And yes, just like Jacob said, they suck. They're not my favorite yards. I don't think they're anybody's favorite yards. And I don't look for yards like these, but they paid the bills, and I am humble and grateful and thankful that I can provide the service and help, and help the customers, and that the customers are giving me the job. It means a lot. So I always still want to do a good job, ninjas, regardless of how easy or how hard the job is. You never want to not do a good job. So how's that yard, Shane?
Yeah, it sucked.
It sucked? Okay.
Every weed eating moment of it.
Every weed eating moment of, I guess that sums up man of short, not many words.
Yeah, so
Very simple.
They can tell I didn't get on a mower.
James?
Like I said, I'm a company man. I just enjoy the sunshine and the people. I like to be out amongst the people.
Jacob?
I think James enjoyed the slip and slide down the hill more than the weed eating part of it.
Yeah.
He said we're just going to bring a tarp out here next time. We'll go right into the lake.
He was slipping like crazy, no joke. Every time I'd look, James would be on the ground. At one point, the man sat down, crossed his legs, and he was just weed eating while he was sitting down.
Never stop.
Never stopped.
Until the job's finished, you keep going.
So, but thank you, Shane. Thank you, Jacob. I really appreciate the help. I know James appreciates it too. That would have been a lot for 2 of us. We could have done it, James. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You might be calling it a day afterwards.
We might be calling it a day, but we could have done it. I don't know. We might have been calling it a short day for sure. This
We
is.
don't quit till the list is finished.
That's right. Unless it's pouring rain. Sometimes we work in the rain too. But like I said earlier, me and James are going to continue in our journey to finish the list. While how many you got, Jacob?
13.
13.
13 or 14.
Shane, y'all got that for today? 13 more? You sure?
Yep.
He didn't. He's not sounding that confident.
I'll just do what I'm told. A lot of granny yards.
A lot of granny yards?
Yeah, one commercial and a lot of granny yards.
So you aim for those granny yards.
Shoot, that's where the money's at. In and out in 10 minutes.
You hear that? He's in and out in 10 minutes at Granny's.
That may explain why
That man, what, James?
that maybe explain why he's been frowning all day.
Missing granny, you know.
That's what happens when you go
somebody's
visit
upset.
Granny.
Experience.
Experience.
All I have to say.
The only problem with Granny's, they want you to trim their shrubs free of charge. Don't they, Jacob?
Stuck in the 40s.
Tell them about one of your
We
customers.
rip shrubs out and they never come back. That's all.
So Jacob thought he was gonna be slick and land this yard. He's like, oh, it's just a Granny yard, no problem. Hey, Granny, that's a quick, $40, $50, whatever, right? And he's like, I could do this, and I'll tell you what, I'll include the little shrub trim. She's like,
Now,
oh yeah.
She had a company doing it. They were doing it for 45, and I priced it at 50.
Okay.
And they said, and she goes, well, I'm not going to spend $5 more. They've been doing good for me this whole time. And I said, well, what about the shrubs? She said, well, they're charging me to do that. I said, well, I'll throw that in for you. Two shrubs. And I'm like, we'll do that once a month, once every 2 months. Yeah, every week.
You didn't know them
hedge
shrubs
trimmer.
grow that fast.
Yeah, get them hedge trimmers. Them things were coming out of shape. Like,
So Jacob, she'd be out there, are you gonna get that shrub this week? And he'd be like, let me see if I brought my hedge trimmers. And he goes, I know them hedge trimmers are in the bed of my truck. So I walk down to the truck, I look over to the bedded truck, I go, hi, hedge trimmers. And I turn around and go, I forgot them. How about next week?
next week I'll get you them.
So yes, don't ever include shrubs in your mowing. Otherwise you might screw yourself out of some money and add more work. And
They're doing Granny
yeah,
free.
yeah, there's no free Granny. What do you You hear that, James?
Yeah, he trying to get in with the grannies to get them Social Security.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He wants that Social Security money.
First of the month.
First of the month. All right, ninjas, we're out of here. And me and James will see you at the next yard, but these guys are out of here. And thanks again for the help. We'll catch you at the next yard. Whoa! Oh, wait. Dude! See you guys. Dusting them pants. There you go, James. Dust them pants, boy. Oh, if you like this hat, ninjas, trailerracks.com. I love them. Really protects my neck against the sun. Very comfortable, and it doesn't get too hot in here because it's got a bunch of holes for air to vent. Really, really great. I really like this hat. One of the topics, I think, we're going to conclude it here, but one of the topics I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm going to ask James to weigh in on this as well, is tips.
I like where this conversation's going. I'm not gonna lie to you now. I'm all about them tips.
What kind of tips are you about?
Well,
The kind that go.
I don't know. It's just
Before
it's
we
hard.
hold on. Before we get to that, you need to tell them how you got hit on today at the gas station.
Oh yes, I got hit on by a very friendly gentleman.
Yes.
I was standing there trying to make me some hot dogs because everybody loved them hot dogs.
So you were getting some hot dogs,
I was.
and
And he said to me that I looked very nice today, but I was very big for a landscaping guy. Must have been in construction.
so he is that a
Oh
compliment?
yes, that's a compliment.
You're big to be a landscaping guy.
Yes, well, you know, everybody loves a zaddy, so.
Okay. And but he thought you were construction.
Yes, you know, because I'm big. I got them big shoulders. you know.
Big shoulders. I thought that was hilarious. So, but tips. And we'll conclude this video because I think we're gonna call it quits here, like I said. And how do you guys feel about tips for employees from customers? I'm gonna let James weigh in on this first, and I'll give my opinion on this.
Well, in my opinion,
And before you go, this really has somewhat of a relation or from our last topic. The whole,
yes.
so it's kind of like, it's kind of connected to that, because some comments were like, he had the right to that check. Some comments were like that, you know, they asked him to do an additional job, and that customer knew and left the check blank on purpose.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, boss. Since they're so nice about that.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back this evening, I'm gonna take your truck, your mowers, and your weed eaters to my house and mow my yard for free.
No.
What? That's the same thing.
That's
He
the
was
same
in
thing.
that man's truck with that man's equipment on
Okay.
that man's car.
So
doing work.
now that we're connected to that, we're kind of moving forward from that, but it's related to that. Like, how do you feel about tips in general? If a customer was to come out and give you a tip because they wanted you to move a flower pot, or hey, can you just touch up a little bit that and weeding, something that we don't do on a regular maintenance basis, do you accept the tip or do you decline? Do you say yes sir, or yes ma'am, or no sir, no ma'am, thank you, but I am paid hourly, that is not for me to take, or do you accept it? So I'm gonna give my opinion on this, but I want James. James, what do you think, James?
Before I do anything, before I crank a weed eater, I check with the boss. It's not my company.
Okay.
If I do anything extra over here on the side before I move a pot, anything, I'm gonna check with the boss. It's not my company.
Okay. So what he's saying is, if the customer comes to you and asks you for an additional service of some sort, even if it's just literally like 2 minutes, but it's not something that we do every week or every 2 weeks, he's saying he's going to check with me before he just says to the customer, oh yeah, I'll do it. No, you're not, because you don't know that customer. You don't know if that customer is just a one-time situation or is it all the time. I know the customer, and so I always tell all the ninjas, and I've told James and previous people, and in the future too, I'll tell to everybody, always, if a customer comes to you and asks you to do something outside what we normally do, direct them to me, because you know, a 2-minute job can turn into a 30-minute job, and then I'm going to be looking over here like, why is James weed eating in that bed? You know, and I'll be looking at him, and he'll be like, well, the customer asked me to. Dang it, James. Well, now we got to finish because you started. So, okay. So let's say I approved it, and you said, hey, you know, she asked me to hit this, and I said, yeah, okay, no problem. It's only going to take a minute or two, James. Go ahead. And then she comes out, or he, and tries to tip James. Let's say $5, $10. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I hear that thunder. James, do you accept that $5, $10?
I cannot take your $5 or $10 because my boss is already paying me, and this is something we're doing for you, and you don't need to even feel like you're obligated to give me anything extra. You're already paying for it.
So do you decline it?
I will decline the tip.
I agree. Now, some of you might disagree, and I would love to hear why. And some of you might agree. Here's why I agree. One, he or anybody else are getting paid hourly. So there's a situation with tips. I'm not against tips if a customer wants to tip us, and that's very sweet of them. They don't need to, by all means, but it becomes a problem. And why does it become a problem? Because it can turn out into exactly what we talked about our last topic, over time. And then that customer will go to that particular person, and the next thing you know, there's a transaction going, whether it's behind the owner's back or not, there's a transaction going additional separate from the transaction of the agreement of between the owner and the customer of, hey, we're going to service this such and such, and this is the amount. I don't like the transactions on the side to be done between the employees and the customers. I like everything has to go through Saving Green, because we are here with a company. This is not James on the side making $5 extra to do something additional with my weed eater, my mower, or my blower. It doesn't work that way. And so I'm against it. And here's also another quick reason why I'm against it. I already tip. And James can vouch for that. I don't do it every week. Sometimes I'll do it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, sometimes once a month. Sometimes I'll do it consistently. But I always tip at the end of the week. Not always, but like I said, I'll tip at least once or twice a month, just depending. But I always round up people, you know, their checks. Even with some of the previous ninjas, I've done it, and in the future ninjas, I'll do it, because to me, that's, you know, I will do that, not the customer, because, you know, James is a good guy. He's a great help. He never complains. He always shows up. You know, I'll be in control of that, and I'll say, hey, James deserves an extra $20, $50, $5. It doesn't matter. So I'm against the whole employee and customer. But let us know what you think. Do you think it's okay, or do you think it's not okay? I just think it's not okay because there's a possibility it could turn into a situation like we talked about last video. Hey, that's all I'm saying. So you agree?
I absolutely agree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you one very important thing.
Okay.
I think we should answer that burning question everybody's had.
What's the question?
Well, yes, I've seen the new Han Solo movie and I thought it was good.